Hello, it's Martina. Nyamainashe. Good afternoon. Oh, just about good morning, good afternoon. It's 11:59, and today I'm just inspired to talk about healing yourself, and that's healing yourself from relationship breakup. Right. I work with women that struggle with relationship breakup. I am a transforming empowerment coach. And today, what's inspiring me is just understanding that sometimes we want life to go a certain way. We've got beliefs that tell us life should be a certain way. But reality is, life is not the certain way that we really want it to go. And life is not perfect. And life is not what we have planned. And life brings to us surprises. And life brings to us new things and new experiences. Most of the experiences, they're either good or they're bad, according to how we want to define it. But truth is that every experience that we have is something that we have to learn to respond to or to react to in different ways. But collectively and consciously, we all tend to react to things a certain way or the same way. But there are some ways that we react to things that we need to start challenging. And one of those ways is how we react to breakup. When a breakup happens, it doesn't spell the end of the world. It also doesn't spell that you are going to be suffering and you have to go through all this and that. But, you have to make a decision that you are either going to go through the breakup the same way that everybody else has, or you choose to see it differently. And you can only do that when you start to examine the reason behind every reaction that we have had as a society and in traditions and in cultures. And the whole world, really, how we respond. Because generally with breakups, we respond with pain. And for myself, I like to be inquisitive and I like to question things, how and why they began. So when I question about how then did we believe that breakup is meant to be something that is painful, and what really created that? And when I look at that, I see fear at the beginning of it. So what does fear make us do? Fear makes us become people that wants to do things to protect ourselves and prevent ourselves from hurting or from being hurt again. So we begin to build around ourselves a protective barrier, something that will prevent us from being hurt again. So this fear, I find that it's not really helpful for you or for me or for us collectively. So it's something that you need to deal with when you've gone through or when you're experiencing or when you're expecting something. Because most of us, we live in situations that are not really conducive to our own spiritual growth, emotional growth, even physical growth, because we are looking at situations and fearing the very thing that we have seen other people experience. And when we talk about breakup, most of us, we are fearing sometimes divorce, and sometimes we are fearing being alone and not having a boyfriend, the fear that maybe I might never find somebody that is going to love me or to live with me. But who decided that life needs to be only that way? Whose decision was it? So why do we make ourselves become this person that is fearful of divorce, of separation, of breakup? And it's more like fear of the unknown. We don't know what's going to happen, so we are afraid that if this happens, then maybe this is going to happen. We start to create stories that are non-existent. So if we start to address those stories and to confront our fears so that our fears do not control us or rule us, I believe that we can begin to make a serious change. You see, I'm on a quest to change generational beliefs and cultures, and I'm on a quest to bring into the world a new culture where people can perceive things differently, where we can challenge the old beliefs, where we can challenge the old values, or where we can challenge the things that we have inherited, not just challenging them for the bad, but challenging them so that we can start to engage our own way of thinking, so that we are not completely conformed to the way that people used to think and people used to define how we are meant to live. What What if we are meant to live differently? What if we are meant to do things differently than what our forefathers did? What if we are meant to do things differently in the generations that are going to come after us? Why do we have to make rules and laws and beliefs that everyone should conform to the way that we lived in this world? We find that we are having a generation of children that are coming in with their own ideas. Then we tend to push them down, when we tend to shut them down, so that they are not able to express themselves and tell us really what it is that they are bringing into the realm of this earth. And then we lengthen the amount of time that these children are supposed to express themselves. And because we are already teaching them to be in a position where they're already operating from our own brokenness, they inherit what we have, we teach them what we have. So they really can't express what they have. So it takes longer for them because they have to deal with our own brokenness by clearing that before their own abilities to express themselves as who they are, full in their own essence, is able to come out from them. And also that takes intelligence, that also takes wisdom. It also takes them to be in a position where they can begin to open themselves to accept that they came to live life differently than us. I know we like to modify our gadgets. When we get a phone this year, to next year there will be a better version of that phone. But we don't really do that with our own children, because we want them to be just like us, our versions of me and a version of my husband. This is what we try to raise our children as. We want them to be just like us, but we want them to have better things than what we have. What if we are not in this earth to have better things? What if we are in this earth to bring in some change, some collective consciousness that needs to be changed? What if our children are meant to take over from where we left? Because I don't believe that our lives in this earth is about accumulating things. If it was accumulating houses and money and properties and cars, those things would make us happy and those things will make us fulfilled. But most of us, we do get to a position where we've got the house we like, we've got the car we like, we've got everything that we like, but we are still not happy. So this brings me to a place of understanding that what we are looking for is really not a collection of properties and things that we've put so much value on. So what we are here, we are seekers that are coming to seek in and to bring in the wisdom that is meant to change generations, to bring in a change of how we think, how we perceive things. This is how I look at things now. Because there are so many people that are rich, but they are not happy. We have experienced some of them. They're very rich, but their lifestyles is really miserable. And they try to lead people, and they are miserable in themselves. And in the process, they are making other people miserable. So you see, it's not about riches and it's not about power. It's about your expression of who you are and what you are here to do. What is your purpose? This is what we want to bring into our own lives, into our children. This is how we want to change the world. But we can't change the world unless we change the human beings, because it is us human beings that are destructive. We are constantly digging and building and destroying mountains, destroying rivers. We are destroying trees. We are destroying forests. We're destroying everything that is in our way, just so that we can have those things that we think we need. And yet when we die, we carry none of those things. Nothing of those things that we have collected leaves this earth with us. The body goes into the ground and it rots. Why is it set up like that? Have you ever asked yourself that question? Why is it set up like that, that everything that you think you need in this life is left here when you leave? And it's only you that leaves, and you don't go with any property or money. It's left for those people that are on this earth. So is it worth destroying the forest that we are doing? Is it worth destroying? Is it worth blocking the ground with our cements? Is it worth building this and building that? And why are we not able to live in harmony with the rivers, with the seas, with the animals, with everything else that is surrounding us? We are our own self-destruction. And I believe it's time for us to come to a place where we can examine our own ways of doing things and begin to do things or see things completely differently. This is my piece for this morning. I hope that you'd play your part. I'm working on myself. So when I'm doing what I'm doing, I know that is for the good of me, and it will live good for my children, and it will live good for those that will come after my children. Because right now, when we collect things, what we create is an infighting, because everybody else wants that thing, but only one person has it. So is it worth it? We are all equal. We all have the same life in us. And we all build a body before we come into existence in this earth. Until we are out of our mother's wombs, then we become different. But we do the same things the same way. That includes animals, that includes insects, anything. We all create the same way. So we carry the same energy, the same spirit is within us. Can we be caring and loving to other things, not just ourselves? Peace.